Basic part like of the CyberArk. So as of now, this CyberArk is used to manage the privileged identities in any organizations. So if we talk about privileged IDs and the risk they possess, so these are the accounts itself, which is used by either an application if we talk about a service account, or it could be used by a database, or it could be used by humans as well. And these accounts are having a particular type of accesses like which is more than normal, and if these accesses got in wrong hands, it can definitely cost the organization in a negative way. Okay, so protection of these accounts are also required. Like if some hacker compromises the password for these accounts, they can definitely move horizontally and laterally and like cascade. And they can penetrate more into the company's network, and they can cause serious damage to the organizations. So as of now, organizations are highly heavily investing in these PAM solutions. There are many PAM solutions in the market as of now. Let's say CyberArk, Beyond Trust, Thycotic, Hitachi PAM. But depending upon the maturity of a PAM solution, like if I talk about the maturity of a PAM solution, so it's the number of things or the number of use cases it can manage. The more number of
Sorry,
use cases it can manage, it means the more mature a PAM solution is. So in the market
sorry
today,
for the
as of now.
sorry for the
Mhm.
technique. Your screen is not visible to us, sir.
No, I haven't shared it yet. I will definitely share. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as of now in the market, CyberArk is the lead like the most mature PAM solution in the market, and it's considered and it's in the number one as ranked by the Gartner. Okay, let me share my screen. So how many people are currently working in CyberArk? Hello, hello. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So how many people who have joined are working in CyberArk currently, or like everyone is new?
Yeah, everyone, I'm new.
Okay. Okay.
Need to know.
Okay. So I understand majority of the candidates are not working in cyber. Okay. Cool. Okay. So first let's deal with what are accounts. I'm writing identities in IDs in short. Let's say since we are talking about CyberArk here, so obviously you need to have a clear picture of the word accounts. So accounts are nothing; these are just IDs which are used to access a resource for doing any job. Let's say you are accessing your personal laptop with an ID. So resource here is your personal laptop and ID is your username, which is an account. And to do a job, like it could be anything. You want to see a movie, you would be definitely entering your ID and you would be accessing the resource. But if we deep dive into more technical stuff, it could be a service account which is used to access an application, so that that application could fetch the data from a database, right? It could be a cloud application account. Okay, it could be an account which is used to enter a Kubernetes cluster. It could be anything. If we dive more deep into this, and accounts, this is just a broader term. Uh, Accounts could be privileged as well and non-privileged as well. So we won't be discussing like into deep about non-privileged accounts. Non-privileged account means basically these accounts won't be having any like severe impact. These are having very low permissions on any resources. Let's say we all have our domain IDs whenever we try to access the company's laptop. So in those, the IDs through which we try to log in, that is having very limited set of permissions. You can just log into you can just log into your laptop. You can't install anything. You can't uninstall anything. You can't push any security patches. You can do nothing. Like, to be more precise, even if those accounts get compromised, those won't possess a like a big risk to any organization. But on the other page, privileged accounts, which are carrying more privileges than these normal accounts. Uh, for example, it could be an administrator account on a Windows server, it could be a root account on a Unix box, it could be a sys account on a database, it could be a domain administrator. And if these accounts get like in wrong hands, it would be definitely it would definitely cost the organization. Let's say let's say I'm running a food business, okay, and the recipe which I sell in the market is one of the greatest in this world. And since everything is digitized, let's say the secret recipe, I have just like kept it in a Windows server only, in a notepad, let's say, just like this only, like what ingredients I would need, like what would be the steps of preparing that dish. It could be anything, okay. Let's say a hacker comes up and he hacks the administrator account for that server. So obviously he would have access to other resources as well, and he would have access to my critical information as well. And he would definitely, like, blackmail me to like he would be blackmailing me to sell this information to my competitors, or he could demand me for a ransom, pay me this much of money, else I will leak this information. And even if I pay the ransom, there's no guarantee, like whether the information would be returned properly or not. He can still misuse it. So that's why privileged accounts protection is required. These are usually called keys to the kingdom as well. And another survey which CyberArk has given, that keys of kingdom is usually three times more than the number of employees working in any organization. And these privileged accounts become the first line of attack for any organization. The more number of privileged accounts are there in any organization, so the attack surface would be like more greater. So companies need to implement a proper policies, like on what basis a privileged account needs to be created. And let's say we are we have created a personal privileged account for a employee, and that employee is no more. He has left the organization. So proper process should be there in any organization, that after someone leaves the organization, all the associated privileged accounts related to that individual should be also deleted. Because the more the number of keys to the kingdom, the more would be the attack surface. Okay. So any doubts till now? And guys, one more request: please try to make this session as much interactive as you can.
Yeah, all good so far.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, so let's discuss about the different type of privileged accounts or the different type of accounts. Okay, so first we have standard personal. Okay, standard or personal accounts. Uh, Normal accounts which don't carry any severe privileges on a resource. For example, your company's domain ID, which you use to log into your laptop. Just give me a minute. Then we have elevated personal accounts. These are nothing. These are the normal accounts only, but these are having more more privileges than the normal accounts. As I said about the personal privileged accounts, let's say my personal privilege account is something like that, xyz@abc.com. Okay. uh, if I talk this is a normal account, it means it won't be added on a local administrators group in any server. But if I talk about this is having elevated privileges, it means this account might be having a local admin membership on the Windows servers, or even upon some exceptions, like it could be a domain administrator as well. So, elevated personal account means these are just a personal accounts only normal, but these are having more privileges than a normal personal account. Okay. And talking about shared accounts. So, let's say you are working for an application team. Let's say you are from Intel team. Okay. So there are five, and you are 10 members in your team, and your client has provided you the IDs and passwords of five usernames, and they tell you all of your team members have to use these five accounts only for your day-to-day BAU job, so that you can to log into any server and do any job. Okay. It could be patching, it could be resetting a service, it could be anything. So whole of the team is using a particular set of accounts only. It could be one or it could be more than one as well. The accounts are shared within the team. So that's what shared accounts are.
Question.
Again, if I want this account shared accounts to be privileged, these accounts can have more set of privileges on the server end. Let's say these could be on the local admin group. Okay. And if it is a member of local admin group, then definitely we need to associate these type of accounts with CyberArk as well. If these are just a standard account itself, then it won't be a privileged account itself. Okay. So, any questions?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I so wanted to know, is the elevated accounts the admin accounts?
Okay. Let me give you a real-time example. Let's say you are in which organization, by the way?
I work for Wells Fargo.
Okay, Wells Fargo. Okay. So you must be having some domain ID, right? To log into
Mm-hmm.
your Wells Fargo environment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
so as of now, you can't do any critical job with that ID. Let's say you want to install an application, you would definitely need to reach out to your system admin or to your IT team, right?
Right.
And these are the people who are having the local administrator's password for your laptop, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, let's say your ID which you use to log into Wells Fargo laptop is Polemy only. Okay, let's say that Polemy ID is having the members on the local administrative group on your laptop. So you
Mhm.
can use your own ID now to do like administrative tasks. Earlier it was not having any such privileges, so that was a standard account. But if we talk about this case in which your normal id is having more in which your normal id is carrying more set of privileges, then it's an elevated account.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay,
Mm.
let me give you one more example. Let's say I'm a weak human now. I'm a standard human in this case, and I start hitting gym, and I like work out every day for like, let's say, continuously 3 years. Now I'm a better version of myself. I can do more things like compared to 3 years back. So I'm an elevated human now, right?
Right.
So both are same things only, but the elevated one is carrying more power within itself. So that's the only difference. Okay.
Like elevated
Okay.
means some extra features or enhancing kind of thing, sir.
Yep. Extra. Yep. And elevated. Yep. It is having more power. Simple. Extra
Okay.
features, you can say, yep, you can use that account to do something extra on a server. Let's say using the standard account, you can't let's say you can't install any software, but using an elevated account you can do it.
Then what makes the difference between like privileged and elevated, sir?
Elevateds are privileged accounts only. Privileged accounts, it's a broader definition. Privileged accounts are, as I said, it is having more elevations than a normal account on different type of resources.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So you can have an elevated account on a Windows server as well. You can have an elevated account on a Unix server as well, on a database, on an application, and all these accounts are privileged accounts. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
let's say uh, let's say people here are from different countries. Okay, some are Asians, some are Americans, some are Europeans. But at the end, what are those? Everyone is a human, right? So everyone will fall under that same category only, humans, because they're having certain characteristics. So if any sort of account, be it an elevated account, be it a service account, if it is having more permissions or more power than a normal account in any sort of resource, then that account would be like a privileged account only. And the things which we are discussing right now, it is the types of privileged accounts, like how many types of privileged accounts could be there. And depending upon the use cases, there are like literally no number. You would be literally like dealing with a lot of number of privileged account types, and there is no limited number. Depending upon the use case, you can also create up a new type of privileged accounts. Is Has anyone heard about ephemeral accounts? Okay, taking silent is none. So let's say using the CyberArk functionality or uh, any sort of PAM tool functionality, uh, JIT provisioning is also there, just in time. So has anyone heard about the word just in time? Okay. So
No,
basically, okay. So what just-in-time access means? So basically, instead of giving you a permanent access on any resource, it could be a Windows server, it could be a Unix box, it could be an application server. Instead of granting you permanent access, teams would be just giving you temporary access based upon your use case. Let's say you want to log into a Windows server and you want to deploy an application, and for that thing you would need an administrator account. So instead of creating a permanent account, administrator account for you, and giving you a permanent access, so with the help of just in time functionality, we can create up a ephemeral account or a temporary account inside that server, and we can just provide you access to you for a temporary basis. Let's say it's for your complete shift today, and after your job is done, that account would be automatically deleted. So depending upon the use cases as well, you can create different sort of account types: shared accounts, personal accounts, service accounts, application accounts, database accounts, ephemeral accounts, break glass accounts. Okay, so literally there is no end to the number of privileged accounts. So that's why like protection of these accounts is very critical. Okay. Mm, just give me a moment. Guys, please give me 1 minute. I'm just like bringing my water bottle. Just give me 1 minute. Meanwhile, you can note down your doubts if you have any. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so let's discuss about application accounts. So, do you have any doubts?
No, not now.
Okay. Okay, so application accounts, again, as I said in the start only, these accounts are like usually created inside the application. Just give me a second, please. Hello. Okay. So discussing about the application accounts. So basically, these are created inside the application only, and these can do any sort of job. Let's say, uh, let me give you an example. Let's say we have a Toad application. Okay. So some accounts are created inside that application, which is used to fetch like any information from a database, uh, or it could be like that. These accounts and their password could be used in the configuration file of a script. Let's say, hello. Okay. Let's say this is script which is used to, like host any application or which is used for running any application. So sometimes what happens, like developers even, like use the accounts and their passwords and they hard code. Hard code means like putting the value in a clear text. So they use this thing as well. And this is again a security breach if someone gets hands on these scripts. So obviously, they will get access to those privileged accounts and their passwords. Okay, so these type of accounts which are hard coded, these are known as application accounts. Okay, so any doubts?
No.
Anyone else?
No.
Okay, just give me a second. So the problems are like the problems which can be created by a privileged accounts itself. Okay, so again, as we discussed, these are the most powerful accounts in any organizations. Okay, and these are having access to sensitive informations itself. Okay, and normally in any organization where traditional like IT security measure is implemented, like no implementation of good tools, and the security posture is weak, so password of these privileged accounts are never changed, or they rotation frequency of these passwords is very low. It could be once in 90 days or 6 months, and even these passwords are known to many. So sometimes what happens, it's the insiders only which like contribute to the attack, and there is no individual user accountability. So this is one of the very good reasons to implement a PAM solution. Can someone explain me or give me any idea if they know about accountability? Like, what do you understand by accountability? A quick question to everyone. Can someone please, like, anyone can open up and they can tell?
Someone is who is held responsible for it.
Come that again.
Like not a single user will be responsible for this. There will be like multiple people because there will be multiple people who will be logging into the account. So it's just not one person who is accountable or like someone to blame to.
Great. And even one more thing is there, like even if let's say someone used this administrator account and he accidentally turned off the server. Obviously, we can't turn off any server in a production, right? In that case, even if someone wants to see the logs, even in the event logs, everyone will see this thing only logged in via administrator user. But who was the person behind that administrator user? It's hard to know in that case. So, with the help of any PAM tool as well, a proper accountability is there. Like no thief can be hiding. Okay. So again, like if any compromise happens due to the misuse of this privileged account, it can definitely lead to financial losses of for any organization, brand reputation damage, business continuity damage. So every organization is following some regulations. So even if they breach it, they have to face penalties, and obviously they will lose the customer trust as well. So customers would be also lost. Okay. Now, coming on the CyberArk solution, so it's just a vaulting solution for managing and securing the privileged accounts and their passwords. It could be privileged IDs and password. It could be SSH keys. Anything you store in the vault, it would be secured by the vault security layer. So Vault is a hardened it's a hardened Windows server. So that is used to store information in itself, and we have different types of security layers in the vault, which is difficult to breach. Okay, so we have different components in CyberArk environment. So the heart of the CyberArk solution is itself the enterprise password vault, or EPV, or password vault you can say, or simply vault you can say. Password vault web access, this component, so normally just like any tool, so this password vault web access, it's a web server through which you would be accessing the CyberArk console itself, and you can see what accounts are like meant for me, and you can use that. From an end user's point of view, you can see your limited accounts, and from a CyberArk admin's point of view, he would be using this PVW console or password vault web access console to do his day-to-day jobs. Now, again, one of the functionalities of CyberArk is you can set up frequency of rotations in the for the passwords of account. Let me give you one use case. Let's say uh, if anyone is using any account, so after usage, the account's password should be rotated. So whenever we deal with the rotation of the passwords, so it's the central policy manager component of the CyberArk environment which is responsible for this. And talking about these components, these are nothing. These are just different Windows and Unix servers only, in which these applications are installed. And all of these applications, CPM, PVWA, Privilege Session Manager, Application Identity Manager, these are just connecting to the vault, and they are performing their individual functionality. And the functionality doesn't depends on like any other component. Let's say if your application identity manager is down, it won't be like that. You won't be able to access the CyberArk console. Okay, so we have a DR solution as well in CyberArk, because in any organization where a CyberArk solution is implemented, it would be a crowd jewel application. So let's say if due to any reason CyberArk application goes down, so there would be a huge downtime or a huge business impact that time. So CyberArk has also given the DR solution as well to maintain the business continuity. Okay. So again, with the help of CyberArk solution, now traditional method to remotely log into any server was this. If anyone remembers, let's say we give the IP of the remote server here, and here we give the username, let's say administrator, which is belonging to this server, and in this case passwords were shared among us and we entered the password. This is not a good secure way. So instead of that, one can log into CyberArk portal using the PVWA. Inside the portal there they will see their accounts, and they can directly connect to the remote servers wherever they want to do. Sorry. Okay, so this is how a PVW interface looks like. Just give me a second. Okay, so let's say this is how a PVW interface looks like, the PVW console or the CyberArk web console. So you would be able to access your accounts like this. Let's say this is the username, OG underscore admin, and against this server, this account is onboarded. So instead of connecting outside of CyberArk, you can log into CyberArk and you can take a connection to this server. And these sessions would be recorded and isolated, and these sessions would be audited properly. Okay, so this is about the PSM functionality. Just, just give me a moment. Okay, so anyone having any doubts in the components?
Not now.
Okay. Okay. So talking about the securities which are implemented on the Vault. So first of all, Vault supports both SSO, single factor authentication, and MFA. But CyberArk recommends to have MFA implemented. And these are the different authentications mechanisms supported for, for authenticating to the CyberArk Vault. LDAP is supported, RS is supported, Oracle SSO is supported, SAML, Radius is also supported, and there are different MFAs method as well. Even CyberArk is now their people are now integrating with Okta IDP as well, SailPoint IDP as well. So you can integrate to different IDPs as well. Segregation of duty, another feature of the CyberArk Vault. Let's say there would be different people who would be having different type of jobs. One let's say even in the CyberArk team there are three sets of people. Set 1, these are the L1s. Set 2s, these are the L2s, and set 3s, these are the L3s of the CyberArk team. Let's say L1 are those people, and they have been provided only limited access to the CyberArk only, so that they can just check what accounts are there. Apart from that, they can't do any administrative tasks. L2s, these are having more set of permissions than an L1. They can log into component server as well. And L3s, they are having full access on the CyberArk environment. And these are having full access on the CyberArk environment. So We can have different segregation of duties as well. Okay, in the CyberArk environment, in the in dealing with CyberArk, file encryption. It means every account which whatever we are onboarding or everything we onboard in CyberArk, it is encrypted, and the encryption mechanism which it is having two types of encryption. Uh, is my screen visible? Okay. One is symmetric encryption, which is AES 256 based, and one is asymmetric encryption, which is RSA 204 at public private key pair. So if I talk about symmetric encryption, it means we can lock a particular object and we can unlock that particular object with the same key. But if I talk about asymmetric encryption, there would be one separate key for locking that object, and we need a separate key which corresponds to the particular public key for unlocking that. So in asymmetric encryption, public keys are the ones which is used to lock the object, and the corresponding private key it is used to unlock the object. Okay, so any doubts in this encryptions and authentications?
Can you explain once again? Authentication, I got it, but encryption especially.
Come that again, please.
Can you explain the encryption again?
Okay, so basically, if I talk about encryption, so it means encoding the piece of information in such a way that no one else can understand it. Okay, let's say your name is Polami. Okay, and if I encrypt it, let's say, this is the unencrypted version of your name. Okay, and if I encrypt it, okay, so this is what we mean by encryption. Means encoding the piece of information in such a way that no one else apart from the designated users or the required users can read it. Let's say, for example, I am the required user. I can read it because I am the one like who is meant to read this piece of information. Okay, let's say in older days, when when soldiers went to the war, in order to share some information, only they use some devices to encrypt a message, and only the required people knew the keys so that they can decrypt the messages. And if these information get into wrong hands, so on the first place they won't be able to decrypt that information. Without decrypting, they won't be able to understand anything. Okay, so this is a general understanding what encryption is. And encryption is of two types: symmetric and asymmetric encryption. If I talk about symmetric encryption, means the object which is being encrypted, it could be unlocked with, or it could be decrypted with the same key only. Let's say you are locking your you are locking a door. Okay, and you have the same key to lock the to use the lock or to unlock the door as well. Okay, and if I talk about RSA or asymmetric encryption, it means two different keys would be now coming into picture. One would be a public key, which is used to lock the object, and another would be a corresponding private key, which is used to unlock the object. Let's say, considering the same example of a lock only, you would be now having two keys. One would be the public key, to which you would be using to lock your door, and you would need a separate key as well corresponding to that lock only, to that object which you would use to unlock your door. Okay, so that's a private key. So let's say if I use to encrypt this, Okay, let's say this is my key A. So I can encrypt this with the same A key, and I can again decrypt it with the same this A key. If I talk about asymmetric encryption, and these are the mechanisms, AES 256, RSA 2048. Okay, and let's say if I talk about asymmetric encryption now, if I need to encrypt this, then I would need A key, and if I need to decrypt this again back to polymer, then I need the corresponding private key. Okay, so got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anyone else is having any doubt? Hello. Okay. Network isolation. So we have different sort of network segregations as well, like subnet based access control, IP based access control, time based access control. Okay, so if I talk about subnet and IP based access control, it means we can restrict the CyberArk application from a particular subnets or from a particular IP ranges. Let's say, mm, being a security architect, uh, I'm saying people from a particular European region won't be allowed to have access on the CyberArk application. So whatever subnets, network subnets, or whatever IP ranges would be existing on the European region, so we can blacklist them. So even if people try to access the CyberArk URL, they won't be able to do that. Or vice versa is also true. Let's say we want to whitelist particular region, a particular region only, then we can do that. This is the subnet and the IP based access control. Time based access control means, let's say our normally our business hours is 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We want no users should log into CyberArk after business hours or in off business hours, which means weekends. So we can implement this functionality as well in the CyberArk, so that people after 5 p.m. or people in weekends can't log into the CyberArk application. Okay, so another feature is temper-proof audibility. Means whatever you do inside the CyberArk, like the moment you log into the CyberArk console, from that particular moment, each and every individual would be audited. What they are doing inside CyberArk. Let's say they are fetching the credentials of any account. They are taking a remote connection to a particular server. They are trying to view someone else's activity. So everything would be audited, and you can't make modifications to these audit logs. Let's say if I'm generating a report from CyberArk as well, so I can't do any modifications in that report. That is tamper proof. Okay. Firewall takeover. So whenever we install the CyberArk Vault application in the Windows server, so the normal Windows firewall is taken over by the CyberArk firewall. So normally every ports and services, these are disabled on that server in which the Vault application is installed, and only the CyberArk related services and the CyberArk related ports are only working. By the word CyberArk related services and by the word CyberArk related ports, I mean CyberArk related services which are required for these server. Apart from that, everything else would be disabled. This is also known as hardening, and it is based on open SSL encryption as well. Like the communication, this is the previous encryption which I told you, that was the encryption of the accounts, like whichever whatever we are storing. Okay. And this type of encryption is the communication to the vault. Let's say you are trying to communicate with the vault. So even your communication would be it would be encrypted with SSL, and you can more enhance it with TLS. Okay. So any doubts?
So basically, what is it? Vault, sir?
Charan, your voice is a little bit breaking. Could you come that again, please?
Yeah, what is vault?
Vault, it's a Windows server only. Like, let me give you a real time example. Uh, let's say you are going to a bank, okay? Inside the bank, you would have different lockers, and inside the locker, you would have your money stored, okay? And proper access controls on the vault and inside the lockers would be also implemented. So similar to that, CyberArk application is having different components, and these components are also like different applications only, and all of these different components are meant for doing a particular job. So Vault is nothing, it's a secured digital storage for securing the for securing the passwords of the privileged accounts, for securing the SSH keys. So have you heard of Digilocker app?
Yes, it is a government
So
app, I think,
Digilocker
central
is
government.
also secured vault only, where your information is stored in that server. Technically, it's a Windows server or it could be a Unix server only. And inside that server, a Vault application is installed. After you install that application inside that server, that that server now takes like a role of a secure storage. Okay, so got it.
Yes,
Sure. Or still having any confusion, or still picture is not clear, anything, that's fine. You can tell. I know in the very start it's like pretty much tough to understand these terminologies, so anyone can like open up, and if any small doubts they're having, you can definitely ask. So is anyone else having any doubts?
Yeah, one thing. As you mentioned, like vaults are like hardened Windows
Mm-hmm.
server. So I want to know like what makes Vault more secure than a
Uh-huh.
normal server.
See, first thing is that okay. So the main I'm talking about my home and your home. Basically, you are restricting the ways, having less loopholes than me. So obviously, your home is more secured. Okay. So similarly, talking about a vault and a normal Windows server is this only. The main thing is this only. The number of ways through which you can enter the vault is very less in comparison to normal Windows server. The things are that before implementing or before installing the CyberArk solution or the CyberArk Vault, the server which is designated in which the Vault application would be deployed, first thing, it is never joined to a domain. It always remains a workstation. Okay. Reason being that is whenever you join a server to a domain, now there would be two set of accounts through which you can log into that particular server. First, it would be a local account. Second would be a domain account. Let's say your vault is also technically you can join, but it's not recommended. Let's say you have joined your vault to a domain and some hacker gets his hand on the domain administrator. So since your vault server is also now joined to a domain, your vault server is also compromised now. So no use of CyberArk solution. And since CyberArk strictly disagrees with this approach of joining the vault server to a domain, even if you purchase the CyberArk solution and you don't follow the security guidelines of CyberArk, and now if you face any issues, CyberArk won't take responsibility. They will simply say, "We don't recommend it. Why you haven't followed our security principles?" Okay. Second thing is that segregation of duties. Okay. So obviously, like in a particular environment, first of all, apart from CyberArk team, no one would be having access to the vault servers. And even in the CyberArk team, on very few resources or like who are highly experienced in the CyberArk field, only those people would be having access. Thing is that if you accidentally do anything in the vault server, so If you are lucky, you would be just thrown out of the project. If your day is bad, you would be like terminated from the organization only. So this segregation of duties also play, like a major role. Third is the type of authentications. So again, both single sign-on and single factor authentication MFA is supported. But again, every organization enables MFA authentication only. So like even if you want to access a vault, even if you are a like dedicated resource, still you need to go through that MFA. And again, MFA is very secured. Okay, and every communication you can even if someone like hacks the way you are communicating with the server, that could be used to compromise the server as well. Even if you are making contacts with the vault server, if you're trying to take a connection to a vault server, that connection is also encrypted with SSL. And normally it is further enhanced with TLS as well. So there is very less chances of breaking that communication barrier as well. Since this is a hardened server only, like all the unnecessary ports, all the unnecessary services are disabled in this vault server. So even if a vulnerability scan happens or a discovery scan happens, this vault server behaves very abruptly. Sometimes in the scan reports it shows it's a Windows server. Sometimes I have even also seen it is showing as a Linux server. It behaves very weirdly, so it's very difficult to break the security of a vault. So practically I haven't seen any such cases like someone is breaching CyberArk if someone is properly following the guidelines and the security principles. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, clear. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? Hello, anyone else?
It is clear.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay, there are three models in which a CyberArk solution is hosted. Okay, so there are three ways in which you can deploy a model, in which you can deploy a CyberArk solution, and there are two operating models. So if I talk about the two operating models, so CyberArk offers one is self-hosted, sorry, and another is privileged cloud. Self-hosted is also deployed in two ways. It could be either in physical servers or VMs, cloud like AWS Azure, and hybrid. Okay, so basically, there are two models in CyberArk solution. One is a self-hosted model, and one is a privileged cloud model. Now, the difference in the self-hosted and privileged cloud is in self-hosted, each and every component of the CyberArk application is a sole responsibility of the customers only. Okay, like CyberArk won't be CyberArk. You just it will help you if you raise a case, but managing every component would be the responsibility of the customer. But in privileged cloud, they are offering CyberArk as a service as well, in which PVW and vault servers would be totally a responsibility of CyberArk vendor, and rest other components would be managed by customer. So this is the main difference in both of the operating models. And if I talk about self-hosted, so this self-hosted can be also deployed in different ways. Let's say you have purchased the application from the CyberArk account representative, you have purchased the licenses. Okay, now you are deploying the you're deploying the CyberArk application in the servers which are physically purchased by the organization or by the customer. It's up to you in which server you want to deploy. You can deploy the application in physical servers, or you can deploy it on a VMs, or you can deploy it on cloud as well. It could be AWS, GCP, or Azure, or you can deploy in a hybrid environment. Some of the servers are in physical server, some of the application are in physical servers, some of them in our cloud, or it could be a multi-cloud environment as well. Like some of the components are in AWS and some of the components are in Azure. So these self-hosted mechanisms, it's totally a decision of the organizations only. And one more reason why privileged cloud is like getting more fame. Now the thing is that in self-hosted solution, you have to purchase a server for every application or for every component. Let's say you have to purchase a server for Vault, you have to purchase one more server for DR Vault, one more server for PVWA, one more server for PSM. So the total inventory list goes big. Okay, but in privileged cloud, since vaults and PVWs are managed by the PVWs, and Vault is managed by the CyberArk only. So now counting to the total number of servers, it becomes less. So it's less costly in comparison to self-hosted. Now again, the main difference is, so Vault is managed by CyberArk in case of privileged cloud implementations. Now, what happens? Many clients or many organizations do not agree of storing their information in CyberArk's responsibility. Again, you won't be having access to the vault. It's only CyberArk who is having access to the vault. It means CyberArk is also somehow having access to the company's most critical information, which are the privileged accounts. So many organizations don't, due to this reason only, many organizations don't go with the privileged cloud deployment. It could be a banking sector, it could be a food chain business. But again, many companies like having the benefits of low cost, low operating cost, and low efforts, because many efforts would be also reduced because it's self-hosted. It's you only who would be managing everything, PVW, Vault, everything you would be managing. But in privileged cloud, your administration load is also decreasing, because now PVWA and Vault, these are a total responsibility of CyberArk vendor only. Talking about self-hosted implementations, you have to deal with DR drills as well, which happens in, I believe, in every application once in a year or twice in a year. So even you don't need to worry about DR drills in the privileged cloud implementation, because availability of PVWs and vaults is total responsibility of CyberArk only. Okay. So any doubts in the deployment models? Hello.
No, no, no doubts.
Okay.
Uh, can you give an use case for an organization? Why would it go for an self-hosted over a private privileged cloud?
Good. Okay. Uh, let's say I'm a banking firm. Okay. Let's say I'm running a banking firm. Okay. And every information stored in the databases or on the servers of a banking organization is very critical. Let's say you are my customer. Okay. So the information, whatever critical information which is very critical to you, that I have your PIN code, your personal data, your date of birth, everything, and how you would feel if you come to know that somehow the information from that bank got leaked. Now everyone is aware of my ATM pins and everything. So how you would feel? You would obviously feel cheated, and you won't ever trust me again. And you would even recommend some of the friends, like don't go to that bank. Okay, so in that case, like, okay, so I decided up, okay, I would be also implementing, like, like the privileged access securities in my organization. But again, I had a call with the CyberArk vendors on this, and they explained me the same thing which just I did. Now again, I took a decision like my data is very critical. Like it can impact the customer's life as well if it got leaked. So obviously, I won't be, like moving my data to someone else's in someone else's command. Basically, CyberArk would be having access to those data in a privileged cloud. Okay, so it's up to my decision, like how critical the data is. So I won't be going up with the privileged cloud implementation. I would be definitely going with the self-hosted only because every information is now within our network only. And on the other hand, let's say uh, I'm just like a manufacturing. I'm just running a manufacturing industry only. Okay, so just talking about the cost and all those things like my information which the information which I'm now having by running a manufacturing industry, it's not that much critical in comparison to the banking industry. So again, in that case, okay, I can see the benefits of privileged cloud, low operation cost, and lower administration, so I can definitely move with the privileged cloud. So these are the use cases, but again, like there is no particular use case. Even the vice versa could be also true. A banking firm can also move to a privileged cloud, and a manufacturing industry could also opt for self-hosted. So there is no particular answer to that. It's totally upon the decisions of the organization. So even before implementing a CyberArk solution, the vendor they have a proper meeting with the vendors, and vendor explains them everything, each and everything. Like this is our self-hosted, the sales representative from the team. They explain everything. This is the privileged cloud model. This is the self-hosted model. We have these components. We have these much of components. Everything is explained, and depending upon the company's use cases, or depending upon the company's requirement, and depending upon the company's security posture, they take the decision whether to go with the self-hosted or whether to go with a privileged cloud. Even if you are a cyber consultant in any organization, you can your job would be just to explain them, like this is the feature of a privileged cloud model, this is the feature of a self-hosted model. But at the end, you can just give your recommendations, but decision would be on their hands only. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, anything else? Hello. So no one is having any questions?
No questions.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Can someone explain me what's a firewall? Hello. Hello. I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So
It
can I
prevents
okay.
on Yeah, it prevents unauthorized users to access into the system. So it blocks on unauthorized users or uh, hackers.
Correct. So as of now, the last topic for today would be the network ports related to the CyberArk application. Okay. And another thing is that like open up with as much of questions as you can. Like if you're attending any sort of like live classes or training sessions, if you won't ask up questions, so it would be your loss only because you won't be getting the full knowledge. Because asking up questions, yeah, like it leads to more and more questions. So definitely Even if someone misses out something, it could be also covered. So that's why I was saying, just try to ask as many questions as you can. Okay. Okay. So anyways, so yep, as you said, yes, firewall. Yep, it's the it restricts the, or it like controls uh from which source, or from which app, uh from which things we can accept the traffic. Let's say if I want to access my company's resource, I can't use I can't open the website of the Citrix in my personal laptop, but same thing I can do it from my company's laptop. So all these things, access and rejections of any network traffics. So these are determined by the firewall. Now there would be two type of traffics inside the CyberArk. Basically three. Sorry, one would be the traffics received by the vault. Okay, and always keep one thing in mind whenever you're dealing with CyberArk. So the vault will only receive the traffic from its components only. Let's say I was keep on saying, like, you are trying to access vault, you are trying to take a connection to the vault. So basically you are not taking a direct communication to the vault server. You are first accessing the CyberArk console, which is a password vault web access component. So you are accessing directly the PVW, or the password vault web access server. Through that, indirectly you are accessing the vault, because you can see what accounts are there inside the vault. Similarly, all the other components, be it a privilege session manager, which is used in backend whenever you're taking a remote connection, or be it a central policy manager whenever you're dealing with password rotations. So the CPM, or the central policy manager component acts in the backend. So each and every different components of CyberArk environment, these communicate to the vault over the port, over the 1858 TCP port. And whenever CyberArk takes on the Windows firewall, so all other ports are disabled except 1858 TCP. So inbound rule is created in the vault, like for 1858, and everything is disabled. Similarly, different ports needs to be enabled from the CyberArk components to different machines. Let's say the PVW server, it's a web application. So if you want to access the CyberArk console, so from your laptop, 443 HTTPS ports needs to be enabled to the PVW, or the password vault web access link. And privilege session manager, or the PSM server, it is responsible for establishing a remote connection to the targets. So from the PSM server to the target applications or the target servers, the required port should be opened. Let's say if you are about to take a connection to a Windows server from CyberArk. So as I said, PSM, or the privilege session manager, is the component in the backend responsible for that. So 3389 port should be enabled from between PSM to the target. Let's say if it's a Unix box, so 22 port number should be enabled. Similarly, CPM also changes the passwords on these machines. So if it's a Windows server, then from CPM server, 135, 139, and 445 port should be enabled. If it's a Unix box, then 22 port should be enabled between the CPM component and the targets. Now, in many type of integrations are also happening in the CyberArk implementations, especially with the vault level. So we integrate CyberArk Vault with Active Directory as well over the LDAP protocol. So for that, 689 port should be enabled between the vault and the domain controllers. We do the SIEM integration as well. Like, it could be integration with Splunk, it could be integration with ArcSight. So for that port, UDP 514 should be enabled between the Vault and the SIEM servers. Similarly, for SNMP and for SMTP integration, the required ports needs to be enabled. So these are the like a high level overview of the network ports which needs to be active in the CyberArk environment. A real time use case. So during a very fresh implementation, you will face a lot of challenges. Like there are three stages in the like CyberArk in the CyberArk posture of any organization. First would be the implementation phase. After implementation, you will like everyone will face a lot of issues while using or while making a habit of CyberArk. So that is the instability period for the CyberArk in your organization, because there would be many servers in which ports might not be enabled. You need to work with infra team and the required network team to do the things done to work on the ports and everything. After some times goes by, after you're working very hard, slowly the CyberArk model will become stable. Now comes up the normal BAU parts, where like on day-to-day basis you would be just asked to generate reports, you would be just asked to onboard more accounts into CyberArk, you would be asked to create loggers inside CyberArk. Now third stage would be creating up automations. So you can develop some REST API scripts, you can develop some PowerShell scripts to automate bulk tasks in the CyberArk environment. Okay, so these are the things. So is anyone having any doubt? Anything, it could be like literally anything, like what's the minimum experience, what's the average package one gets in a CyberArk role, anything, like it could be literally anything.
So you were mentioning about the ports, right? That for
Uh-huh.
this we need this port. That is something a part of our, when we start uh, deep
Net.
diving into CyberArk, that's when we come to know, or is it very specific to any company where they are trying to do it, or where exactly is it, getting implemented?
So it's in basically in every CyberArk implementation, you will obviously face issues to ports. Okay. Like some of the users, they might face an issue, they are not able to take a connection, but some users are able to take a connection. So every organization, see, obviously there would be, like thousands and lakhs of servers in any organization. So just doing everything in a single go, it's very like rare chance. Like anyone can do everything in a rare in a single go. So obviously some things are definitely missed, and slowly, once you receive issues, you come to know, okay, like ports are not enabled in this one. And obviously CyberArk is called a dependent application. You would be dependent on other teams, and other teams would be dependent on you. A circle would be framed like this. Let's say some issue after the CyberArk implementation gets stabilized, majorly of the issues in the CyberArk comes up due to the target and only. Let's say the target is not up and running, the port is not up and running. So you are just managing the CyberArk application. These infra related stuff, these firewall related issues, these are your out of scope things. So whenever, let's say, you're trying to rotate the password of an account and you got some issues like this network path not found, and you came to know, okay, port is not enabled. So you would be raising an incident or ticket to the network team only, like enable the ports. I'm not able to re-rotate I'm not able to rotate the password. And this is the situations where you are dependent on other people. Now there would be multiple integrations in with CyberArk. Let's say Qualys application would be integrated with CyberArk. Sometimes SailPoint is integrated. Sometimes ServiceNow is integrated. Now, if anything happens to the CyberArk, so their application would be also impacted. So what happens in these type of integration? So these Qualys, these ServiceNow, and the SailPoint, so they all have their own set of service accounts which is onboarded into CyberArk. And whenever password rotation is taken place on these accounts, the new instance of password is pushed to these servers as well. Let's say if something happens to the password rotation of these accounts, or these accounts and if the new instance of password is not properly pushed to the application, so obviously your integration will break. Call is as it is used for VM scannings, the Qualys team won't be able to execute a VM scan. SailPoint for identity management for IGS, they won't be able to do their job. ServiceNow team won't be able to run their discoveries, or their orchestration will fail. Now, in this case, everyone will reach out to you with a P2 or a P1. So you are dependent as well, and people are depending on you as well. So CyberArk again, it's like very critical application, as I said, in any organization. So generally, people who are freshers or who are just college pass outs, it's very difficult for them. Like either if their luck is in place, then only they can get a job. Else, no one allows a fresher to work in the cyber domain. It's very critical. A small mistake can cost you your job or your project.
One more question, following up with this, is the integration part that you were just
Uh-huh.
discussing. How is it? Is there any? mm, I mean, how is Okta and CyberArk integrate? Not the details. Just wanted to know, like, uh, yeah. I hope you understood
Okay,
my
so a
question.
high level overview. So
Mhm.
basically, just for IDP purpose, CyberArk is integrated with Okta over the SAML protocol. Okay, so what happens? Basically, whenever you're trying to open this PWA URL, like the password vault web access URL, the main thing is that you are shifting the traffic from PVWA to Okta IDP. So just you can be just authenticated and your user profiles would be created in the Okta IDP. Like if this user like tries to log in, so grant him this much of access in the PVW application, and PVW would be defined as an application on the Okta IDP. So once you have connected to the PVW, yeah, your connection is working fine. Like the things are connected to the vault, you would be able to see everything like your privileged accounts. You can do your day-to-day jobs. Okay, so not only Okta, basically Azure AD integration is also done in the similar way only. You are just routing the like PVW traffic to the IDP so that the IDP can authenticate you whether you are a valid user or not. And it's not just in CyberArk, majorly, let's say, in many organizations use Azure AD only for MFA, Azure 7. So not in CyberArk. In fact, in almost every applications, this it is implemented. ServiceNow or Confluence or CyberArk, you can say. So in almost every application, this comes up. You have to go through the MFA challenge.
Got it. This is a question like is not on the topic. I just wanted to know, is there any session or like a classroom program for CyberArk in Ask Me Identity?
Yeah, we do have master classes. Like we do conduct training sessions as well for CyberArk.
Okay, I can get the details like from the one who has organized this, or I can reach out
Yep.
to. I think
So
Anita reached out to me, so I can reach out to her directly, or if you can
you can
guide
Yeah,
me.
reach out to
Paulin,
her directly.
we could reach out to
Okay,
you. We do have various, this is for all the guys who have joined webinar. First of all, thanks for joining this webinar session, and thanks to Randeep for creating such an good presentation for the CyberArk. So, Paulin, coming to your question, we do have various CyberArk sessions going on currently, and we are starting our new batches from Monday onwards. So, if you want to enroll, you can visit our website. Probably, we'll speak to Anisha. She will get back to you if she has contacted you. So you can visit, and other ways is like you can also visit our website. The way you enrolled yourself, registered yourself for the webinar is the similar way. And for content and the topics that you are currently looking for, we will definitely guide you. We can share you a brochure
hmm,
wherein you can check like what are your currently like what lackings you have and what further you can look for CyberArk. So definitely we can guide you there. Okay,
that works, Sunaina. Let me get back to um,
Anisha.
Anisha, I'm sorry, Anisha, on the number that she texted me from. If I don't get, you also have a community. I think if I
Yes,
can get
yes,
the details from there also, right?
definitely, definitely.
Okay, I'll reach out. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Pauline.
Like, hello,
Mm-hmm.
the coming Monday, the timings, please.
Hello? Yeah, yeah. Can you please repeat? That was not actually audible.
You were saying the coming batch is Monday. The timings are
You can share your availability because, like, see, everybody is working professional, so we need to work. We need to schedule the batches as per the availability of both trainer as well as the participant. So you can share your availability. We can check the batch size. We can check the availability of the trainer and time, both ways, right? Then we can go ahead.
Yeah, the same trainer will take the classes or another trainer will take
Yeah,
evening
yeah.
time. I
Randir will
am
take the classes only.
I am interested to enroll in evening time actually.
Okay, okay. You're Charan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. No problem, Charan. My team will get back to you on this. Definitely, we will make you register through website only. So, what is the current level of CyberArk in like experience you're having?
No, I don't have. I am into Salesforce actually.
Oh, you are into Salesforce. So you would be a fresher for CyberArk course, right?
Yes, yes. But I
Okay.
have little bit knowledge on cybersecurity.
So I would recommend you to take a whole CyberArk bundle, wherein there are three different modules, which will cover the tool like the product part, and second would be your troubleshooting and interview preparation, and third part will be your use cases. Right. So all the modules are for 20 comes to 60 hours duration it is. Right. So that will actually make you job ready. That will actually you will get to know the live scenarios wherein the trainer will provide you the use cases and everything. So it's a complete course we have created for all the the people who are fresher to the CyberArk, or else they're having some background of CyberArk. So you can join, you can have that bundle of CyberArk. So wherein other people who do have few years of experience in CyberArk, so they can go for use cases or for troubleshooting modules. That is again for
Like I have one
2020.
like I have one more doubt actually.
Yeah, yeah, please.
How is the job market for freshers and experience? Like freshers also will get job in CyberArk actually.
Well, Ranbir is the
Okay, let me take this one. So, see, the thing is that, like, if you ask about yourself, like, I don't have any experience in CyberArk, so how I will move it? So, the thing is that, see, whenever you're taking a switch to any different organization, no one will like in the BGV, no one will check this like whether you worked in a Salesforce domain. Everyone will just check the salary slips and all those things only. So once you have the basic things clarified, once you are having the like once you are trained in CyberArk, so we can have a resume prepared for you, and it would be definitely on the real time use cases only, those resume, and you would be explained everything about that. So in that case, you would be able to answer the interviews itself and use cases in real, like, just like it happens in real time. We would be implementing those use cases in the labs as well.
In this course, it will be covered in development also, only implementation and operations only.
Yeah, basically this course is more into implementation and operations only, and the issues, the common issues which you get. See, if you talk about the journey, so initially, like I would recommend, if you are getting job offers from two company, one is offering you a CyberArk operations role and another is offering you a CyberArk implementation role. So just for your sake only, just go with the CyberArk operations, because there is a step as well. Like first you need to clear the basics with the CyberArk operations. Then after your basics are cleared, then the fundamentals of implementation would be clear to you. Then you can move to an implementation role. Once you are more comfortable with operations and implementation, then you can go with the upgradation, and lastly you can then go with the automations, because for developing the CyberArk you would definitely need like a lot of experience, because you need to know in and out of the CyberArk components, how they work, how they communicate with each other, right?
Like as per the market standards are right now in the market, somewhat slow now actually. Like how
That's
many
fine, that's fine.
years?
You can get job for every role, you can get job for every role. Just the differences would be in the money only. See, even
Mhm.
I started from the CyberArk operations only. So initially, like from the very start, My CTC was 3. Then I started doing the switch and started doing more critical jobs in the CyberArk. So similarly, on the same way, CTC get increased. So that's the thing. So I can just definitely say this: CyberArk operations engineer, they might receive less than an upgraded CyberArk implementer or CyberArk developer, but these are the steps only in a real time. If somehow you manage to crack the interview for a CyberArk developer role, and in real time also, like if you haven't got, if you just take 2 3 steps of a stair directly, obviously that would be a hectic situation for you only.
For instance, after completion of this course, how many years of experience, kind of knowledge will be gained with this course actually?
See, that depends totally upon you, like how much you are investing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. How many like doubts you are you are asking me, how many questions you are asking me. So I can give you the resources, okay, like as part of your assessments, you have to go through this. So it would be a it would be a mutual efforts. So whatever, how much effort, it totally depends on you, how much efforts you make.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Let's say if I if I am the one only who is speaking and I'm not receiving any inputs from you, so I would hardly say you would be able to get any job. Like to be
Mm-hmm.
truthful, if it's a mutual, like mutual communication, you are also bombarding me with questions. I am bombarding with your assessments. Although that time would be tough, you would be hectic with your professional life and this training schedule as well. But that in the end, that would be definitely fruitful, right?
Okay.
And talking about that experiences, okay, on an average. So after this training, normally a candidate they can crack a job role like with having like about 3 to 4 years of experience.
Like on
Because I
average,
have structured the training content in this way only, the use cases which I have structured.
yeah, correct. Yeah. Like 3 years experience on and average, how much package will be offering?
Mm, it also depends on your communication. So let's say uh, let's say you're on X rupees CTC, okay, and it totally depends on you how much you are able to compensate, how much they are offering you, if you are making any counter offers. And again, one more thing, let's say you are getting 20 LPA in Bangalore and you are getting 15 LPA for work from home. So obviously 15 LPA would be more. So it totally depends on you as well.
Yeah, correct. Based on
Yeah.
counter offer,
But
we can counter it.
yes, cool. Yes. Sorry.
We
So,
can
Charan, on
demand it.
top of that, firstly, your skill knowledge and your skill experience plus skill understanding is very much important, because the only thing that will help you in getting any job with a high package will always depend how you crack your interview. The more skillful you are, the more you can be offered. Then employer will never think of, sharing the CTC with you, because we have seen that people who are having minimum 2 years of experience, but they have got so much of expertise in their skill, whatever they are working for. So they are drawing huge salary. We can't even compare them with a architect level of salary. But the only thing that makes them different from the other individuals is their expertise within the 2 years of their career. So there are a lot many cases wherein people who are having 7 plus or 10 plus years of experience, they are still on the same salary band or the package band, uh, with the if we compare them with the 2 or minimum 2 to 3 years of professionals who have gained experience within those 3 years only. So actually that depends how much hard you have worked with that skill, how much expertise you have got on that skill. So the way you crack the interview, employer gets definitely a clear image about that employee.
Yeah.
Plus, experiences always matters, right? But again, I would say the more you learn about any skill, the more you will be experienced.
Okay. Yeah, in my final doubt
Uh,
is like
yeah.
actually, hello.
Go on, please.
Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah,
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 yeah, I can
Chandrasekhar.
hear you.
Yeah, this CyberArk, it will be like on-premise or like will be conduct course into cloud actually.
It would be a self-hosted one only. Like as of now, no training institute can provide the courses for privileged cloud. They can just give you training information, theoretical information only, but not a practical one. Because for labs and all those things, we need to have some license things. And this is just a piloted thing only, just for practice and trainings only. These labs, privileged cloud again, as I said, Vault and PWS are handled by CyberArk. So how can someone like have Vault and these things? So a tenant is very difficult in terms of privileged cloud. But definitely, if in future, if there is a possibility, like labs could be implemented for privileged cloud as well. So definitely, we would be adding this as an option. But as of now,
For
it's
example,
self-hosted only.
we're trying to self-hosted in companies whenever we will be selected in company. That time they will ask to work in cloud environment. Is it difficult
See,
to manage
thing
or
is
it is?
that technically there is no differences. It's just hosting is different, but technically things won't be any different.
Okay. Like self-hosted and cloud, technically there
Correct,
is no
correct,
difference.
correct, correct.
Fine, fine. Understood.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And to be more to be more answerable on that package, I know some people who are having 10 years of experience in CyberArk. They are bagging a package of more than 60 LP also. And there are some people who are even having 15 years of experience, but they are in the league of, 40 LP, 30 LPA. So again, the amount of money totally depends on you only.
Depends upon knowledge and efforts
Correct,
only will get package.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
And again, CyberArk is very big. It's very big. It's consistency is very much required. If you leave it for 1 week and you would be forgetting everything.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Is there any impact in cyber domain because of artificial intelligence?
No.
Okay.
As of now, I don't see anything. Even many people are trying to fake up these interviews. They get the answers from ChatGPT and all those other AI tools. For CyberArk, you won't get anything like that. So it's totally your hard work only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard somewhere in YouTube like freshers somewhat difficult to enter into the cyber arc actually.
Yeah, the reason I told you, it's a critical application. Let's say if you do anything without any information, so it can create a huge downtime for other teams or for you as well. So obviously, like in that case, like as I said, you would be out of the project or you would be out of the company.
Yeah.
Like when I was a fresher in the CyberArk application, I accidentally turned off one lower environment vault. So I was lucky that day somehow that it was a lower environment vault. So that's why I remained in the project as well in the organization. But my seniors that time they told me like if the same thing would have happened to the production thing, you would be definitely out of the company. They would have thrown you out. So that's a critical thing, and businesses won't understand you are a fresher. That's why okay, let's ignore it for one time. So that's why CyberArk is a critical, job. You need to be very careful while dealing with the CyberArk job, while doing job in CyberArk, and you need to be pretty much focused. Developers,
Okay.
they might be chilling here and there. Okay, that's just a piece of code only they are developing. It would be having a lot of tests. But in CyberArk, you need to be very careful.
Which language will be used in cyber arc development actually?
Depends on you. It could be Java, it could be Python, it could be PowerShell, but
Oh, it's
mostly PowerShell and Java is used. Like for creating up new CPM plugins, I use Java, and for automating the things, I use PowerShell.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. Another thing is that no coding is required to start a career with CyberArk. Slowly, you can start your like parallelly. You can learn coding as well, and once you know the in and out of the CyberArk, like how the things actually work inside CyberArk, then you can use your coding knowledge to automate things in CyberArk.
This CyberArk is a part of cybersecurity only.
Cybersecurity itself is a big domain, like penetration testing, ethical hacking, cloud security. Then comes IAM in the cybersecurity field. So this CyberArk actually is the name of the company. The technology is called PAM, Privileged Access Management. So Privileged Access Management is a part of IAM, Identity and Access Management.
So,
Yeah.
who is the competitor of CyberArk?
As of now, Beyond Trust is given, but still I won't say it's a good competitor. But after CyberArk, I have only heard of Beyond Trust only. Like many companies are using Beyond Trust, but it's very
Delinea,
difficult to
I guess, Randeep, Delinea must be, Thycotic PAM must be there.
Yep, it could be also there, but still, I have seen very less job opportunities in these two, Delinea and the Beyond Trust. And whenever I hear the word PAM, I always see CyberArk only leading the things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep. Just like
This
in
beyond
CRM, like
trust.
Salesforce is number one.
Yeah, world's number one here.
Hmm.
This beyond trust also PAM solution or a different one that is.
Yeah, it's a PAM solution only.
Okay. Fantastic. We'll get after enrolling the course.
Come that again, please. Sorry, I lost you in between.
No, no, I will get more after enrolling the course and I will learn.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Like, if asked, what is the fee?
What
We
is
will
the?
share the brochure, Charan. You will
Okay.
get to know everything, right? My team will contact you, and whatever the information is required, we will share it across.
Yeah, fine. Fine. Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
So,
Ranjit. Actually, very good session. Wonderful session.
thanks for feedback. So, is anyone else having any doubt, or we can wrap up the session? Okay.
I think good to wrap it.
Okay. Okay. I think we are good to wrap up then. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Randy. Yeah. Thanks, team.
Thanks,
Uh,
everyone.
for taking out time for this webinar session. Do enroll for our courses. My team will definitely reach out to you for more information. Right?
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.